Coming to get you, Barbara.
Here's Johnny.
Like scary.
Wait, you said you had something. Do you want to do that before I do the intro or after?
We can start it from like right now even. Like we
Oh,
can keep
okay.
this in. So
Okay.
yeah, I just have a little message for our family, I guess. Buenas noches, fan de nuestro programa Scared Speechless. Para este episodio vamos a hablar de la película española Rec. Debido a que esta película está en español, quería gastarle una broma a Jakey. No le traduciré hasta más tarde. Debido a que no hablo con fluidez, investigué cómo decir todo esto en línea. Honestamente, OJ probablemente no lo hizo. Gracias por escucharme. Now we're going to go with the regular. Just going to continue like it's regular. So what's up?
Well, see, I came up with a really fun intro for this
Oh,
one.
yeah, go for it.
3, 2, 1. Hola a todos y bienvenidos
shit.
a Scared Speechless, el podcast donde dos hispanohablantes fluidos intenten encontrar las palabras para describir
fucking-
nuestras películas de terror favoritas y menos favoritas.
Fuck! I can't believe I was just Uno reversed. God damn it. Oh, I did. Okay, so we're going to translate. So now this is what's going to happen. Or let me explain what just happened just now. So I thought it would be really fucking funny to type out all this like stuff for like an intro to do for the podcast and then have Jake do his normal thing. Jake did the best thing, which is completely turn the fucking tables on me and also have the same thing. That's insane. So now what's going to happen, since I'm a co-host and I get a say in what happens in this show, we're going to translate what we just said to each other, because I'll be honest with you, I was half listening to what Jake was saying, and also like I just wasn't expecting it. I just wasn't expecting. So okay,
Damn right.
You're amazing.
Thanks,
so what
man.
I
You're amazing
said
too.
Was so what I said was, good evening, fans of our show, Scared Speechless. For this episode, we're going to talk about a movie, a Spanish movie, Rec. Since this movie is in Spanish, I wanted to play a joke on Jake, and I'm going to translate later. Since I do not speak fluently, I did look up all this stuff online. Honestly, OJ probably did it. Thank you for listening. I just figured I'd put like a little something in there, a little sparkle of like red pepper.
OJ.
Yeah, man.
Oh no.
What
It's crazy. It's crazy that what he actually went to jail for was like a white collar crime.
Oh man, fuck.
Well, what I
remember-
said, I used Google Translate.
Yeah. I use Spanish dict.
I said hello everyone and welcome to Scared Speechless, the podcast where two fluent Spanish speakers try and find the words to describe our favorite and least favorite horror films.
That's awesome.
So
So
if you can't tell, I'm very fluent and my pronunciation's spot on.
So what did you call us boys? Any particular boys?
No, I couldn't think of anything.
Ah, fuck.
I couldn't think of anything without spoiling the movie.
Two Spanish boys, you should have said.
Two Spanish. What does hombre mean? Does hombre mean
Dos-
brother?
Hombre means man
Oh,
or like guy. You can
two
use
Spanish
it kind
hombres.
Dos niños españoles, I guess, probably. So I'm so sorry. I am such terrible representation for my category, I guess, for my race.
Yo, I feel the same way about me, man.
If I could say one thing about, if I could say one thing, in uh, like for everybody, for all us Latinos,
Mm.
this movie is Spanish, but it's Spain Spanish, so it's a little different. Um, I feel like Spanish people are kind of like the British people. Spain Spanish people are to Latinos, as British people are to Americans, probably. In that they
Interesting.
speak it a little funkier. I guess we're kind of going into the movie now, but
You know what it is
what a
about the British that bothers me?
what's that?
Like, I like beans. I like beans more than your average man. But I don't know if I would have beans for breakfast unless they were in like a breakfast burrito. But now I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it, and Spanish people and you guys put beans in a lot of things too, right? So maybe it's just Americans that don't really vibe with the beans.
It could be. I mean, yeah, no, I could
I'm thinking of
I could
Indian
hound
food
beans
though, and
on
there's not a lot of
toast, I
there's not a lot
guess.
of beans in Indian food or
We
Chinese
have
food.
rice
Okay.
and beans.
Mm. Ooh, like a
Nice and good rice and beans.
red bean.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Oh,
I
now
mean, I
I'm
guess
hungry.
it's not. Well,
We should
'cause
probably
what do
talk
they
about
have,
the
like
movie.
kidney beans. Like, I am hungry too.
I do like
Um,
beans. I'm a big bean guy.
No, it's just part of this. The biggest thing I guess we're harping on and doubling down on and about this movie is that it is Spanish.
Yes.
So
That's the only thing of
so
note.
what's funny. Right. That's the only thing about this movie that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's not true.
No,
Actually,
not at
I
all.
really do not believe that.
No.
But no, the one thing that I wanted to touch upon right off the bat is that I watched this movie in two different ways. I initially watched it in the English dub, which was really awful. I feel I should point this out to anybody who's planning on watching this movie and hasn't already before listening to this episode.
Yeah.
Just that the English dub is so awful because they just like, because you know how you have like productions with like celebrities, like on-screen actors being used in like animation and stuff like that, or they need to use their voice and they sound like an actual human being, but like the English dub is so they sound like anime characters. Like it's so awkward, especially for a horror movie. And it was so like it takes you out of it so much. So I guess that's like part of the conversation we're having here is like a dub versus sub.
I hate
Like,
dubs.
I think they're
cannot
fine for
stand
like anime and stuff like that.
I guess
Like
anime,
and I'll
yeah.
probably get shot down in the street, which is fine
No,
for saying that.
for
But
me,
like,
it's
I mean,
for me, it's I cannot get past like when I'm watching like a live action film that's foreign and supposed to be
right.
in its original language, and then like the words being spoken just don't line up with their
Aren't
mouth
theirs.
movements. Like,
yeah, and no, it sounds like so off. It does not sound
Yeah.
like the person.
and
that's
you have
speaking.
like
It's so weird.
very clearly like Spanish people, or in another case, like you're watching like a South Korean movie and they're South Korean people,
Yeah.
and they always get just like the whitest sounding people to voice all of the characters, and it just doesn't. It just
Yeah,
doesn't.
It's
It
just
doesn't
like all
work.
Josh Hutcherson. Yeah.
Oh, I speaking of Josh Hutcherson, I was re-listening to our Five Nights at Freddy's episode.
Yeah.
I hate that movie. I still hate it.
I love that movie, man. I love it.
I still hate it. And yeah, no,
I really enjoy it.
that has
rather.
nothing
I
to do
don't-
with this movie, but I just had to say that I still hate Five Nights
Why'd
at
you
Freddy's.
why'd you just bring that up again?
Because you brought up Josh Hutcherson, and I was thinking about
Oh, I get. Oh,
I
yeah,
still
sure.
think that he, even though I hate the script and his character, he's trying really
Mm.
hard in that movie. Like he's giving it his all.
He put in the time, man.
Yeah,
He's
it's
awesome.
it's a shame nobody
Anyways.
else did. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah.
this
So you
movie,
watched this in you were able to watch this in two different languages. I think also partially
Yeah.
because we didn't mention it, but this movie is incredibly short.
It is quite short.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something real quick about the English dub
Oh,
that
go
just
for
like
it.
it just blows my mind how it was like allowed even. But the English dub there, so this movie takes place in like an apartment complex. It starts off
Yes.
in like a firehouse, whatever.
Firehouse. Yeah.
And then they go to like the apartment where they meet all the like tenants and stuff like that. And some of the tenants are like this Japanese family. Um and in the English dub, so in the English dub, they make them sound so fucking racist. Like it doesn't
Oh,
matter
no.
if the person behind the microphone was Asian or not. That was so fucking racist. Like it was so bad. Um, it was so exaggerated. Like
Oh.
it would made me so uncomfortable. Like it was very much like or like I would believe if they did hire someone who wasn't white to play that.
What
Or
if
someone who was rather.
what if they
But,
got the have you seen the I Wanna Be Ninja clip?
I don't know.
It's like the blonde woman and she's like wearing a dress and she's at like a party and she starts singing like the most offensive like racist towards Asian people song. It's the I
God.
Wanna Be Ninja.
Oh, I think so.
And then
I
they
think I
like
have seen
zoom
something
in
like
and
that.
in the like the crowd it zooms in on like an Asian woman and she is just like she is just not having it. What if they got I
Oh my
bet you they got
God.
her to do the voice.
That's
She
probably
she
who
fully
it
does
was.
like an Asian like stereotypical accent.
Too,
It's
or like
so bad.
stereotypical. Yeah, that's so fucked. Oh my God. But yeah, no, that's what it sounded like, and it was
Oh
really
no.
awful. And it's like she doesn't even sound like a person, man. It sounds so like so exaggerated. But that's
Overly,
like what
yeah.
I mean is like they had like a voice actors instead of like on-screen actors go in to do the voices,
Mhm.
because I guess like the like a voice actor is looking to get like a fucking job narrating a textbook. Like that's what I don't know.
Audiobooks.
I don't know, but that's yeah, like that's what they were doing, was they were doing like an audiobook, and I was like, it's so
Yeah.
weird. But
That's
yeah,
unfortunate.
no, I did end up watching it in the original Spanish with English subtitles. Although I will say, I would probably be able to keep up all right if I didn't have the subtitles on there,
Yeah.
because I think like with the Spanish, they kind of talk like a little more, they speak with a little more formally, I guess. That's part of like why I brought up like their little like kind of like the British people to people from the States. Because they I guess I don't know, with how they spoke, it was like almost like slower, a little more formal.
In
And like if it
in
was
some
like
scenes, I
a
guess.
in I don't well, for me, I guess.
Oh.
But for you, Whitey McWhiterson, probably
Yeah.
not.
What?
Not for you, John Smith. So yeah, like I think I would be able to keep up all right.
Yeah, it's
Although they do
also
have like
fairly
their like
simple
little
plot.
thing where for in place of like Z's or C's,
Mhm.
when they make the sound, instead they make the sound. So it sounds a
Oh.
little funny.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't even
Calcetines.
that didn't even click with
Gracias.
me. I remember you mentioning that like, different obviously different like pronunciations and
Yeah.
more formal speaking and stuff like I guess that would really change it a lot. I remember because I knew a girl in high school who was originally from Ecuador. She was Ecuadorian, and she was like,
Yo,
I w-
represent.
yeah, we went on it wasn't like a school trip, but like it was like it was like not a school trip, but it was through the school essentially. We went to Spain, France, and Italy, but while we were in Spain, she was able to communicate with a lot of the people there, but she was like, "Yeah, I'm a
Mhm.
little rusty," and like they also speak with like a little bit of a different dialect and stuff. And so I do
Right.
remember her mentioning that. But it was cool. It's interesting. Like there's just so many different types of languages and variations in
Mm.
the world. It's crazy. But
It's funny how yeah.
yeah.
It's funny how I didn't bring it up, but I did go to Spain. I'm literally looking right now, and it sounds fancy, but it was from the airport at some wine, some sangria that I brought
Ooh.
from Spain, from Madrid. Um, Wonderful place. I
I think
had like
Madrid is also where
such
I
a
went.
fantastic time. Yeah, you went. Oh my gosh, man. Oh yeah. My
Yeah,
God.
we
Anyways,
didn't get to see a lot of Spain. We saw the most of France, a little bit of Italy, and then a little bit of Spain, but
mhm,
most of our time was spent in France. Which France is
yeah,
beautiful. I mean, all three countries were beautiful. I wish I got to see some of the nicer parts of Italy, but that's, hopefully one day. But yeah,
yeah. I mean,
this
I went to Spain
movie.
for a bit. And we were able to like, sorry, we were
Oh no,
able
you're good.
to. My family was able to like communicate with everybody. Like fine, it's still different. Like everybody was able to. You can kind of easily tell that we were like Latinos or Latinx, as opposed to like Spanish. Um, but they were still like really nice and like they didn't. I don't think they were judgy necessarily or anything like that. Um, but it was overall just like such a great time sorry. And the culture is like so cool. Like it was so
Oh
much cooler
yeah.
than like I had ever thought of before because like I didn't really like know too much about Spain before I went.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but man, like what a great place. I
Oh
went there in
yeah.
Barcelona.
Dude,
Or how
I haven't. I don't think I
you
got
would
to see
say.
Barcelona. I just remember like Madrid having just like this like amazing like energy and like atmosphere to it.
Amazing.
Like you're
Yes.
just walking around and it
Very
feels,
historic.
yeah, it's historic and it just feels so alive. And I remember we went down this like little our tour guide. She took us down this kind of alleyway and to this like
Was it like cobblestone?
yeah, it was like a cobblestone alleyway, and there was this like
Fucking
little
love it.
tiny like window restaurant that like served these little like sauce filled pastries, and they were just
Mm,
oh, they were amazing, so good.
that's so
Yeah,
sick.
the food over there was just everywhere we went, it was just like amazing
In
food.
case Yeah, we haven't made it clear, much love to our Spanish fans,
Oh,
uh,
absolutely,
or Spanish speaking.
hell yeah.
Um, yeah,
And if
we
you haven't
appreciate
seen
you.
this movie as a Spanish
Yeah,
person, dude, this movie is awesome. I haven't seen a ton of Spanish movies. Most of the ones I've seen are just like Guillermo del Toro movies because
right.
Guillermo's the man.
Because
Like,
he's
oh,
rocking. Yeah,
I love Pan's Labyrinth. We should talk about that
we.
movie someday.
It's so funny. We've been recording for almost 20 minutes and we got into none of the details in this
Well, that's
movie.
fine because it is like we mentioned this before we started recording. It is kind of like a simpler
Mm,
movie. Like again, it is very short. It's like under an
yeah.
hour and 20. It has a very like breakneck pace. Like it's just there's very
Mm,
little downtime in this movie, and most of the downtime is right at the beginning. Because I don't know if we really talked about the
mm,
plot too much. I think we mentioned it a little bit, but essentially what happens is you have a movie, or not movie, a TV news crew who mainly film things in the wee hours of the night. I forget the name of their show. It's like While You're Sleeping or something
while
of
you're asleep. Yeah.
yeah, something of that sorts. And basically, this episode they are spending the night with a fire crew, a bunch of firemen, and with the
Bunch
hopes
of
of going out
firemen.
on a call. They do get
Bomberos.
yeah, they do get sent out on a call, but it's not a fire. It's a person locked in an apartment, And yeah, once they get to the apartment complex, shit gets kind of crazy. I guess spoilers. We're gonna dive into the plot and everything, but it's sort of a zombie
But you know
movie.
that if you're watching this show.
Yeah, for
You
real.
silly person.
But if
You
if
silly
it's your first
individual.
time, we do spoil, so spoiler. But yeah, it's basically kind of like a Spanish zombie film in a sense. Like they're not,
It's
I
fucking
guess,
dope,
they're
man.
not technically zombies in the traditional sense, like the
Mhm.
come back to life and shit zombies, but I guess they're more like 28 days later type, where they're like infected
Yeah.
virus type people.
Infected through saliva.
Yeah, through saliva. Flat out terrifying.
Yeah, dude, I fucking the first time I watched it didn't fucking matter if it was the English dub. I like nearly shit myself
Oh,
because I was
absolutely.
watching the movie and it just like it like got to that point and I was just like it did such a good job of filling you with like dread.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh no. And then like, you know, it happened and we'll talk about that scene
Yeah.
at some point. But man, it had me like getting up, like cursing in Spanish. Like I don't I try to practice my Spanish where I can, clearly. And so that's just like the one thing that's really stuck is like cursing when I get scared, like freaked out. But it's more funny than anything else.
You'll have to teach me some
But it got me
Spanish
to do
curse
that and like
words.
yeah, no, I had to take a lap after that. It was
Dude,
good
there
though.
was I think like I've been pretty open on this podcast about how much I could just like cannot stand jump scares, and it's
Yeah.
because a lot of them are just really cheap, they're really lazy.
They don't earn it.
They don't
No.
earn it. I think this movie might have the most effective and well done jump scares in any
Yeah.
movie that I've seen, and that may be
I
a
would
bold
say, yeah.
statement, but ever since I watched this, I've been trying to rack my brain of like, oh, like is there a movie that I can think of where like the jump scares kind of rival this in terms of like being just genuinely terrifying? And I was like, well, you know, the first Insidious has a couple good ones, Sinister, some decent ones. But I don't think anything compares to Rec 2007 because there's two
Mm-mm.
specific ones. And I know there's a scene that you specifically want to talk about. So I'm gonna mention these two briefly because I think they are so goddamn effective. And I got a little fun fact about the one. But the first
for it.
jump scare that really fucks me up is when the body falls from the
That is so.
stairwell.
I have that in my notes. I
Yeah.
should make a little bingo card with my shit and see what stuff aligns. We should just do that. One
Oh,
day.
dude,
Anyway,
absolutely.
that is such a good scene and
It's
like a good shot.
Insane.
It was like it didn't get me, but it made my eyes widen. Like, damn, like that was dope.
I
Like, that they
watched
did
it.
that.
I watched it at like this movie at like 2 a.m. after a like 10-hour shift at work because
Oh,
I
man.
work like the night shift, right? So I got home at like 2
Right.
a.m. and I was like, it's a short movie, so I can watch it. And I normally go to bed around 4 a.m. anyway. So it's
Yeah.
like pitch black in my room, you know, quiet as can be. I have my headphones turned
Right.
all the way on. And
Oh,
I was
fuck.
like laying down. I had the like my laptop propped up really close to me, and I was paying such close attention. Like I was really sucked into this movie while watching it, like in a way that like I like completely had. I didn't look at my
Gets you
phone
hooked.
once throughout the entire movie. And but
Yeah.
dude, when that body fell, I actually like was concerned for my heart for a second. Like it jolted me
Jeez,
so
man.
hard, and so this jump scare is the one that I have the fun fact about because I'm in this just like a group on Facebook that like talks about movies, and after I watched it I posted this and I was talking to this one woman in the comments and we were talking about the movie and she brought up that the actors in the scene did not know that that body was going to fall while filming. So they
Dude.
were just as surprised as I was.
That is so fucking cool. I love that.
It's oh my god, it's
Because they
awesome.
did freak the
Yeah.
fuck out, right?
No,
when that
it
happened.
yeah,
And
dude,
understandably so.
I love stories like that in like movie history where like the actors like didn't
Yeah.
know shit was like. Have you seen Die Hard?
I've seen most of it.
Okay, I won't say anything then.
Fuck.
Jurassic Park's a big one. When there's like a scene in Jurassic Park when the kids are like on the ground and they have the windshield over them, and the
Mhm.
dinosaur, the T-Rex, like comes down at them. Like the kids
Yeah.
didn't. I forget if it was a malfunction or if the kids just didn't know that the dinosaur was gonna come down on them. But that's like their genuine reaction to that thing like coming down.
Oh, what happened was when the T-Rex went down and like hit it, it wasn't supposed to knock the glass off because the glass, quote
Right,
unquote,
right,
wasn't
yeah,
actually glass. It fell through,
yeah.
so they freaked out because they were like, "Oh my god, that wasn't supposed to
Yeah,
happen."
that's what it was. Like I love stuff like that.
Dude,
Like
I love facts like that, man. It's so cool.
yeah, so that
So cool to hear about.
that was for that one. And then the second jump scare that really gets me, and it's not like you'd think it's weird because the two jump scares that get me are the ones when it's like the lights are still on. Like you'd think it'd be towards like the last 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But the second one that gets me, and again, guys, spoilers if you're still here,
Mhm.
is when the little girl like attacks
Dude, that's
like
another thing that I have in my notes, man.
and what I love about this movie is just like the reincorporation and the setup and payoff is fucking fantastic because like I said this movie is very breakneck pace but there's very few scenes where there's a little bit of downtime and there's a sequence of scenes in the middle portion of the film after a bunch of crazy shit has happened where the TV girl is interviewing. There's a little girl in the movie, Jennifer,
Jennifer.
and she's interviewing the little girl, seemingly just to get a little more footage, and to also it seems like to like maybe calm the girl down, like pay attention to her and whatnot. And in the little thing, they were like, the girl's like, "Oh, I have a dog." And she's like, "Oh, where's your dog? I don't see him here." And she's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, he's at the vet. He was sick." And you don't think anything of it. Like at least I
Yeah.
didn't. Like and this was I've seen this movie before, but I totally forgot about this aspect. Um
I thought about it because I think I wasn't paying attention and I thought the dog was just upstairs or dead.
oh,
Um,
no,
and then when
like
the scene came back up, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
yeah,
And
well
when I realized what happened.
yeah, and it's good because it's like again, it's like a really good reveal later on.
Hmm.
Because I don't think we mentioned it yet. Shit, but like one of the best aspects of this movie, is they can't escape. Like they get quarantined by the health people, the government, whatever. Like they can't leave.
CDC? I
The
don't know.
CDC, yeah, whatever their version of like the CDC would be called. Um,
I
yeah,
guess
no,
it's
they can't leave. Like they are locked into this apartment complex, and it's so stressful. And like as the film progresses, like because like of the infected people inside, like their like limited movability and maneuverability throughout the building becomes like less and less. Like it's like a box getting smaller and smaller. It's insanely claustrophobic. Um, but
yeah.
again, the reincorporation, like the reveal at the end, like to me, it's like a throwaway line at first. Like they're interviewing the little girl. It's like, oh, they have a
Mhm.
dog. It's not there. Like, oh, to me, you know what I thought? I thought, oh, like that's a clever excuse to like add like a little bit of backstory and development to this
Mhm.
family. Like, oh, they have a dog. Like that's likable. And but to not have to have a dog in the movie, like, because that's like a lot to deal with. And
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was, throwaway line. And then towards the end,
It is
they.
so easy to like breeze by that
Yes.
detail.
No, you breeze by
So
that
easy.
detail, and then towards the end, in like the last 20 or so minutes, and the guy is like we like they let in from the outside, like a health inspector or something to come in and see what's going on, and then he's like 1 day or 2 days ago, we got a report from a veterinarian about a dog that was sick, and then you're
Yeah.
like, oh fuck. And then it
I'm
pans
like,
over.
no fucking way.
It pans over to the mom holding her daughter who's been sick the entire movie. And
Yeah.
she's like, she just has tonsillitis. And then the fucking daughter attacks her. And you're like, oh my God. It's so.
And
It's,
that lady was accusing that old or the Japanese couple
yes. Yeah.
for
She's a
being
little
the
racist.
start of it because of like, yeah, dude, she was racist. This other guy was fucking racist towards him. I was like, geez, man. The voice actor for the
Oh no.
for the dub was
Just too
racist
much
towards this person.
racism.
Like it was a lot, man.
No, for real. Yeah.
But
But anyway, that was
yeah,
my second. That was
motherfucker.
the second jump scare that got me too. Was when the daughter bit the mom, and it like
dude, I didn't get scared, but I was so stoked about it. I was like, that is so fucking like,
it's such a it's so good.
oh man, I'm so glad that it happened. Like I didn't even know how to explain like how like why I like it so much, because it's like I don't know if it's like the timing of it all was really good, like especially just after that
Yeah.
like reveal and everything. Like I guess that's probably what it was, but like it's oh my god,
it's such good
so cool.
setup and
I said-
payoff.
I put in my notes any of the scenes with the zombie kid in it is so good.
Yeah.
Because I really liked I liked seeing her the other time where the like cop was like trying to get on her level, and then she also had like a syringe to use that had somewhat of like a vaccine or something, or maybe just a sedative, but yeah. So and then she was like close, and then like you see her eyes are like weird, and like just as I'm thinking that, the guy like says like, oh, like look at her eyes, and then he like turns back and she fucking jumps at him, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then they go to like they're like trying to pull her
Oh,
off.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. There's so many just like genuinely bone chilling moments in this. Like
It's awesome,
and
man.
and like we didn't mention it, but like one of the things I love too is just like it is really smart writing wise to have your characters get quarantined, because then it completely removes the whole, oh, why didn't they just leave? And you know, it's not them just making dumb decisions, like they're literally trapped
Right.
like rats. It's terrifying. Like anybody who's like
Yeah.
claustrophobic, like dude, don't watch this. Like you're not gonna have a good time. But no, not only that, but I love the inclusion of the found footage style, and it's something that I've talked about before, where there's a lot of movies, kind of Paranormal Activity, and a lot of the spawns of that, where it feels like they're not using the found footage aspect in a way that makes the experience better, but more so like a really cheap way to make a horror film. And I respect that as a business decision, but you get that a lot where I feel like you're not using the format to its max potential. And
Yeah.
in Rec, I think it's perfect. I think the setup is absolutely perfect. Oh, it's a TV crew filming a fireman, you know, it's naturally puts them
Right.
in that situation.
It's like part of their show and everything.
Exactly. It's part of their show. And then then what I love too is just the fact that, like, in addition with them being quarantined, you have that dichotomy where it's like they both play off each other, because now and I think she says a line in the movie where it's like people have to see this or something. And it
Yeah.
adds that element
Like
to
she
where
has to see, like they have to see what's going on here.
exactly, and it's like a nice progression of, oh, we're filming this because it's our job, to, oh, we're filming this because, oh, it's crazy shit's happening, to, oh, we're filming this as evidence. Like, look what they're doing to us. They're locking us in here with these things. It's really well done, and there's very few found footage horror films I feel that the found footage aspect enhances the experience. Like we talked about VHS last week. I think it was not very well utilized in that movie, as especially compared to Rec.
Well, if you were to compare it to it, I think I still really enjoy a lot of the ways that they used, or like most of the ways that they used the found footage like format. I always liked the idea of like when like in like a horror movie, if they were to like kill somebody, they just like smash the camera on them.
Yeah.
So that little moment is kind of fun.
That's fair.
Um, and no, I thought they were interesting. I don't think the stories really like
The
held up with
writing,
it,
yeah.
and like the writings.
No, I just feel
Um,
like in Rec, it makes a lot more sense. Like you
well,
already have
yeah,
like a reason to like film. Like you already have a
right.
reason. It's like set up, and they do a really good job too. Like when the movie opens, you see her
Mhm.
like you see her doing outtakes. Like you see her mess up her intro and like
Yeah.
do it again. And those little like hiccups, those little issues are I really like that added touch because it
Mhm.
just makes the whole thing feel more realistic and plausible. And you have
More
that like later
authentic,
on
yeah.
too, like we were talking about when she interviews the little girl, and the mom
Mhm.
starts chiming in and answering for the little girl, and you even have the interviewer. She's like, "Oh, can you not answer? Like you don't have a mic, so you're just gonna mess up the audio." And like as someone who like
Yeah.
has like made short films and stuff like and like done like that sort of thing, like it's cool. Like I like those little touches. It really makes the whole thing.
Mhm.
Again. It just makes it feel more plausible, more realistic, and it works.
No, I thought the same thing. Like I thought it was just done really, really well. Um, and how like it almost like added to their character, like their tenacity, like the
Oh yeah,
cameraman who like barely
Pablo.
spoke, like Pablo. Yeah, he's fucking dope. Pablo
Drink,
is dope.
drink
Pablo is
every
my
time
favorite
she
fucking character.
drink every time she says Pablo.
Dude, I would, but
Pablo.
like I'm not trying to die.
Die.
But yeah, no, no, I wanted to say that was like one of the things that I had since we're on the topic of Pablo being like the fucking coolest.
Yeah.
Um at the end, what a fucking guy, man. First of all, the fact that he's still recording the entire time is insane.
Do you
That's
ever
awesome.
see
Like,
him? I don't think you do, right?
no, you don't.
That's
You don't.
awesome.
And uh like towards the end, they're kind of cornered. It's them two, spoiler, but
Yes.
who fuck. Anyway, um so like the girl and the cameraman were um in that last apartment, like looking around at shit. Stuff happens, and this huge, disgusting, like lady, demon thing
Yeah.
is like stomping around, and they have like night vision on the camera,
Oh yeah.
and he like finds the girl, and he's like he says, "Get behind me and don't let go." Like he's taking fucking charge, man. Like that guy. Oh my god, Pablo
He's a
standing on
real one.
fucking business.
He stands on
Cameraman, like
business.
he's fucking cool. I just wanted to express that
No,
because
he's
I
yeah.
honestly thought that was like the coolest like moment to like be in such a terrifying fucking situation, and like being able to not only compose yourself but to lead after that. That's dope.
Oh, dude, Pablo's a real one, man. He like
I
really.
fucking love him.
I don't know the main girl's name. I forget her character's name.
I forget. I feel bad. Yeah.
She's amazing in this movie. Like
She's all, yeah,
she
dude.
is so
And
she's
her
so good.
like continuing to fucking push for recording it and everything
Yeah.
after he like threatened her with a gun and all this shit. Like
You know
she was like,
who
"Nah, man,
I
everybody's
wanna
gotta see this."
Pablo's great.
Angela
I'm not.
or
Oh, is that her name?
Angela.
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 Angela. I'm not. I love Pablo. Pablo's the man. But you know what character I think is the best written in this movie? Is the police officer
Dude, that
because
guy is.
I
I also have
feel
another thing on him.
I feel so bad for him throughout this entire movie.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
he is trying so hard, like, and every time he does mess up, like he pulls the gun on the people because they're getting a little like out, like they're getting mad and they're
Rowdy
getting
and
a little
whatnot.
outraged and they like want to know what's going on and they want to leave, and he like pulls a gun
Mhm.
on them. And like I know that sounds bad, especially like being an American and like defending a
Mhm.
police officer pulling a gun on unarmed citizens, but
Mhm.
in the context of this scene, it works, and then immediately after he feels so bad, like he like
Yeah.
puts the gun and like he like hangs his head in shame and he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, I like lost my composure there. And I like he's
Yeah.
like, what is he supposed to do? He's being told by the government, hey, you're quarantined, these people can't leave. He's dealing with all of these people, crazy shit is going on. Like, and the body that falls from the up top that we talked about, that's the other police
Mhm.
officer, right? Like, so his
Yeah.
partner dies almost immediately. Like,
Yeah.
he's going through some shit, man. And he's trying so
That's
hard.
understandable. For sure, man.
And oh my god, dude, oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. When
No.
he gets bit, he like owns up to it immediately.
Yeah, man.
He's like, I got bit.
That's a champion.
And oh, dude, you know what scene confuses me? Did Angela get bit, or did she just think she get bit? 'Cause-
Yeah, no, she thought she got bit. Because
Okay.
he kept like reassuring
But-
her. He
but
was
was
like, I literally saw you, but she was just like a bit.
My
shaken up,
question though
traumatized
was
a bit.
like, was he just trying to like keep her calm and reassure her and be like a good guy, or
no, because I think he's a little more like he would be a little more practical than that. Like he's like, oh fuck, well,
if Pablo was
come with me and
practical, he
we'll
would
get
have
you to a
gotten the
safe
fuck
place.
out of there and not been such a brave, bold man.
Well, yeah, but yeah, no.
But oh yeah, dude, so how do you feel about the whole reveal at the end that it was like this? So they again, dude, great setup and payoff.
Oh yeah,
But at the beginning they bring up that one of the tenants, he hasn't been in his apartment in weeks, and it's like sealed off
Mhm.
or something like that. And then at the end, that ends up being the apartment that Pablo and Angela they go into, and it's like that's where he starts filming, and there's all this like creepy cult shit and like demonic symbols on the wall, and they play this recording, and in the recording he talks about doing it. It almost sounds like witchcraft or some sort of like demonic stuff, and it getting out of
Yeah.
hand, which I presume led to the creation of whatever that creature was at the end that we saw. Like I assume
I
that's
don't think so. I think
no.
from my understanding, it seems like they like that person was put in charge of that girl who ended up getting possessed in Portugal, I think. Um and
Oh.
then like so he was in charge of like figuring that shit out,
Okay.
and so like they're like, oh, we're trying to this enzyme is working on fucking fixing the zombie virus or whatever the fuck,
Mm-hmm.
or like healing her, I guess. But they're like, we're calling the mission off. I have to kill her now, and it seems like that didn't go as well as he was hoping.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that
If you
makes
catch my
sense.
drift.
Yeah, I guess it was hard because yeah, I was trying to remember exactly what was said on the recording. I was
Yeah.
a little confused, but either
I
way,
just watched the movie.
yeah,
and,
that makes sense. It's been like
Jake's
a little
picking
bit.
up on his memories, his memes.
Yeah, I'm trying to recall, because a lot of the stuff that is just so like memorable in this movie is just like the striking imagery and just again,
Yeah.
I love the implementation of the found footage. It's just so anxiety inducing. Like the entire movie just is
Yeah.
again, if you have bad anxiety and you don't like stressful movies, like this is not gonna be fun
I
for
would
you.
just
Like
stress you the fuck out.
this movie is this might be the
But you have to
most
be like
stressful
strapped
horror
in.
movie.
You have to be
Oh,
like
yeah.
lights out. Watch this movie in the fucking dark, man.
Dude, absolutely. This is a movie
That
that
sounds
I
like
feel
so
like
much fun. I actually want to do that right now.
yeah. Oh my god. Like I think this is one of those horror movies that like, and I've actually said this for a lot of horror movies. I usually love watching movies on the biggest screen I have available, a big TV, the movies, obviously at the theater and stuff. But when it comes to horror movies, I think honestly the best experience is by yourself in a dark room, headphones in, locked in on like a laptop or like a smaller computer, like a monitor or something. Like I think that is like the most effective way to watch horror movies because yeah, it's easy to watch a horror movie in like a theater full of people and like not get scared. It's easy to watch like with like a group of your friends and like you got maybe a little light, a dim light on or something. Like but it's another thing, a true test of your willpower, and your ability to not get scared is watch it lights out, headphones on a laptop.
Mm. Dude, that sounds like a good time. I could do that right now,
Ooh,
but I won't because I have a show to do.
hell yeah.
I
It's also
do have
daytime.
some other stuff. It is also daytime.
Oh, I
Well,
want to
I like
ask
the
you. Can you
afternoon.
can you guess the budget? I don't if you don't already know
Oh,
it.
for this,
Yeah.
I want to say 100 million.
Did you just say $100 million?
Uh,
That's so much money, dude.
I don't
Wow.
know how much stuff costs. 10
Uh,
million?
nah, 2 million.
Fuck.
$100 million. What
Am I
is this? A
rich or
Marvel
stupid?
movie?
I don't know.
Actually, like the Godzilla -1 was made for like less than 15 mil, which is
Holy
insane.
shit,
That is
man.
crazy.
I watched that movie and it was so fucking good.
That movie,
Did I say that on here yet?
I don't know if we talked about it, but that movie is baller. Like I
That
I
movie's
love
so
that movie.
fucking good, man.
It was my favorite movie of last year, and I'm usually like a big like art house like indie movie guy. But that was my I liked that more than Martin Scorsese and David Fincher's movies, and that's saying a lot because those are
Damn.
like my two favorite directors.
Right. Dude, I have to say, like, I know we're getting into tangents and I don't give a fuck because
It's okay.
like that I watched that movie when I went to Vancouver. I don't know if I told you, but I was in the where I was at, like the hotel I was at,
Yeah.
was like not even a block away from a movie theater, which was
Awesome.
awesome. And so
Yeah.
I went, and I got like a ticket, and I saw that they had these other kinds of seats, like it was like in IMAX, and like that was just the time that was convenient for me, and um, and then I saw that they had these specific seats within the IMAX theater that were like, I guess, better. They called them D-box seats. And
I don't know if
I
I've heard
was
of these.
like, okay, I'll try this. But then I did that on like a whim, and I get there and you sit down, and what happens is the chair is nice and comfortable. It's pretty big,
Yeah.
and it will move
Oh.
when shit moves. If you're on a plane, you're drifting left and right, and if Godzilla stomps, you're hopping, baby.
Dude,
You
that sounds
are
awesome.
shaking up. It is the coolest fucking thing. It was the coolest way to experience a
Oh,
Godzilla movie,
I'm
man.
jealous.
I'm telling you.
You know
it was,
what?
oh my
If
god.
I
it was
gotta look
incredible.
into the new Mad Max movie, the Furiosa
man.
one. If seeing that in 40 or whatever you saw it in, then like that D
D-box
box,
and the IMAX, whatever the hell.
that sounds
It was
so
awesome.
cool. Imagine like that. All I'm thinking about is like seeing the Batman in a theater like that, and like when he turns on the Batmobile, his Bat car for the first time,
Yeah.
and the engine
And then, like,
revs.
I
I think I saw that in like an Adobe theater, so the sound was insane. Like it like rung throughout the whole theater. It was awesome.
That sounds amazing.
Speaking of sound, I think the sound in Rec is fantastic.
Oh,
Like the
yeah,
sound
dude.
design is
Oh.
incredibly good.
I did have a point that I wanted to put in. Like, I love there's this like one scene where it's like right towards the end, like where she like hits her head on the camera, and I think that's what causes something in the light to be loose or whatever. But then like the sound like goes out for like a little bit because like the mic got fucked with. And like the panic and all that stuff when it's just silent is so it's so cool. It's
Yeah.
like really, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's nice.
Yeah, that part's
or like
great.
the Goosies.
Oh my god, the
Yeah, man.
sound with that scene, like you said, where it just like kind of like it's like that. It's the same
It
sound
made
that
it so
you'd
much better
yeah, it's like that sound you'd hear in
for
a
like the
movie, like if
experience.
like a character gets hit in the head and they get all woozy for a second,
Yeah.
like and it's like distorted. It's very good.
Yeah.
One thing that I noted in terms of like the sound is like the gunshots in this movie. They sound
Oh yeah,
so
dude.
visceral because, and it's another
That's
thing
the
where
pop
again,
pop.
yeah, it's like the found footage aspect really works, and they do such a good job because in any other movie, when you're recording a gunshot, it may sound loud, but it's always the audio recorder or the sound design. It's added in post, and it like just coincides with whatever the sound is in the image. Like it may be a loud gunshot, but in this, because it's found footage and they're using presumably a shittier microphone, it almost clips the audio every time the
Mhm.
gunshot goes off, and it just goes further into that. Like, oh, it like puts you into the scene. Like it hurts
Yeah,
your
man.
ears because it like the audio was not prepared for that. Like the mic was not prepared
Right.
to capture something that loud, and it works so well, and it's so
Yeah,
effective
man.
into putting you in the shoes of the characters, and that's
Yeah.
oh oh my god. You know what scene
It was super great,
you know what
man.
scene I find absolutely horrifying is
Oh, which one?
they
'Cause I have
basically
one.
it's more so not like more so like it makes me like really crawl in my skin, not because it's scary, but like I put myself in that situation. Like when the mother gets um when the mother gets handcuffed to the stairs.
Yeah.
That is, dude, you like she's
What a
handcuffed.
traumatic scene.
It's so insane. This is the point in the movie where like shit is really like hitting the fan, like, and it is flying all over the room. Like
Yeah,
it is
man.
it is going crazy.
Ooh. Like when the daughter ran upstairs.
Oh my god, yeah.
Dude, I not for nothing cuz that like scare or whatever like from the like girl biting the mom, like that's like it's not so just like violent and like ooh ah, it's also holy fuck like that she just lost her daughter.
Yeah,
uh
it's so sad. It's so sad.
that's really sad.
And yeah,
Yeah,
she was a
and
little
then like
racist, but like she didn't deserve
yeah,
that.
and but then like yeah, and then she just and then the daughter like runs off and they have to like handcuff her and that's like the last she's seen of her daughter and she's gonna die. And it's like
They yeah,
that's that is so fucked. I like
be,
that really like sat with me for a little bit after I watched because I'm like, oh damn, that's heavier than I remember.
yeah, like what a horrible, terrible last 10 minutes of your life. Like
I
and
like
it all
God.
happens because the guy, the police officer, my favorite character, the one who like I think is just like the best written character, they give him the
Oh yeah.
key and he gets bit and he sacrifices himself upstairs. Once he gets bit, he like locks himself in the room with the thing, and so when they get back down to the mother, they don't have the key. And like I was like one thing I wrote in my notes is like the last note I wrote is you just feel so hopeless while watching this movie. And I'm
It's a
wondering for
shame,
you,
man.
like, is there a point in the movie where you realize like nobody is making this, like making it out of this alive? Like there's no chance that anybody survives this?
Uh kind of like I mean towards the end that this was actually in my notes. Towards the end and this is just like also a really great shot that I loved. Um but when the camera when they're like upstairs and like they had just left the cop or whatever and then they're looking down or something and then they're looking down in the stairwell and then all of the zombies are just looking right up at them and then they like start screaming and then like running and it's like oh my god. um and then like they go to that like last room. As soon as they turned on the lights and I saw all that shit I'm like okay so this isn't gonna go well. um but
Oh,
like
yeah.
to see how not well it went was fucking awesome. Oh god, it was such a great ending.
I do laugh because there's one, and like, again, love Pablo, he's great. But
Mm,
so when they first get
he's
into
awesome.
that apartment, there is like the clearest, loudest footsteps you could possibly imagine. And the girl gets rightfully terrified, and Pablo goes, "No, no, it's just the
Yeah,
pipes."
yeah.
I'm,
I mean,
I'm like, no,
kind of
no.
giving her some kind of hope,
That and
I
that's
guess.
dude, that's why I'm like I'm very much questioning whether or not she was actually bit or not, cuz I could very much see it in line with Pablo's character for him to like lie and make sure she's like not scared.
Ooh.
But like that you're right, it does like put him greatly at risk because like as we see throughout the movie, it's not long after you get bit to when you turn into one of those infected, things.
I
Um
felt like she had enough time to really like check to see if she was bit.
It's just weird. Like I understand being stressed in a situation, but like thinking you're bit, like yeah, I don't know. I guess it makes kind of sense. Apologies if you hear my dog bark right now. He's loud
No
and
sweat, man.
obnoxious. Sorry for the fans. I don't think I have a single negative note in this movie. It's just so much praising.
I don't.
I will say
Mm.
one of the more terrifying moments is the first time you see the old lady, like the person that they're going to check on, Cochita. Um, I think her name is, at
Yeah.
least that's what I wrote. You see her and it's just it's terrifying. She's just like has this like every time you see one of the infected in this movie, the way that it's lit, and it's
Mm.
that's another thing I love about just like the found footage aspect. I know I keep harping on that, but because like the
Mm.
scenes aren't perfectly lit, you get a lot of like unique lighting. Like there's certain scenes where you see the infected and it's fully bright because that's just the lighting of the scene. It's the lobby. And then there's other scenes when you go into like an apartment where there's no lights on and the thing just like walks out and it's just the oh god, like just like the
Ugh, dude.
silhouette alone
It's
is
like gross
it's oh my god. I
and
don't know what that
scary.
thing at the end is. Like I'm not sure if it's specified what that is.
I'm pretty sure it's the girl,
Which girl?
the possessed girl, like grown up
Oh, okay.
or whatever.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think. I
No,
think
that
so anyway.
that makes.
Because
Oh, yeah,
like
you mentioned that
they had done
earlier.
experiments on her and stuff.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of what is it? Like recordings in movies. Like I find that to be something that anytime in a movie
Oh,
when
the
there's
tape
like a
recording.
tape recording of something, like you'll see when we get to it, but they do it in the Evil Dead franchise. And anytime there's like it's because they always get like a dude, like an old dude with like a really like deep raspy voice to do the recordings, and so it always sounds so
Yeah.
creepy over that like analog sort of recording style, but it always works for me. Ah.
No, I totally get you. Oh, that was really great. I do. I do like that part too. Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, I'm looking through my notes. I don't have much negative.
Yeah, I'm checking my
I
notes as
really
well.
like too that they in the first like because I wrote in my notes that the alarm sounds off 8 minutes into the movie. I made sure to check.
Mm,
8 minutes into the movie is when they go from just hanging out with the firemen to going and actually going on the call. And I really
yeah.
like that the first like 6 7 minutes just sort of loosely builds the relationship between her and the two firemen that she's going to be spending the night with. I like
Yeah.
seeing just like the firemen hang out. I like seeing her like they like play they do just enough to like make me kind of care about the characters and show that they're likable. Like they play basketball and they're like they're just like having like a
Having
decent
like
time.
interactions with each other and
Exactly.
stuff.
But it's not too long. Like again, like it's a very short movie, so they kind of got to get to the shit quick and I think they spend the perfect amount of time like giving us just enough of those characters.
Definitely. Yeah, it definitely makes me like think of them in like a casual manner, and then
Yeah.
like as stuff grows to be like more dramatic and they like their demeanor starts to change, but like and then we see just more of them and it just like builds upon these
Mhm.
like fairly likable characters.
Yeah.
No, it was dude, it was really good.
And I like that like the one fireman dies very early on and then the other one, I think his name
Yeah.
is Manu. He survives until I think he's like the third to last person to get killed. Uh, yeah, I like just the little stuff again. Like I mentioned how I like that at the beginning. They show like the mess up of her. Like it like adds that authentic feeling. Um, they cut the one take because an ambulance goes by, so like obviously the audio would be messed up. So they cut that and
Yeah.
like they redo the take. She when she's interviewing the one character, she like starts interviewing and then she changes the side because she likes the way her hair looks a certain
Mm,
way, like a very like a news reporter would. Like it again, it just
right.
all playing and like doing this perfect tandem of things working together in synchronicity to like just really
Mm.
make like a really well developed, well done product. I don't know
I
other
like
ways to put it.
I like that she wasn't also like they made her like a real kind of person.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't like that stereotypical kind of news reporter where she didn't really care about like the story or
Hmm.
about like her like job, you know, like and just be more for the flash or whatever.
Yeah.
Um in the style of it all. Um like it felt the movie felt very like I guess like grounded in reality.
Hmm.
Um except for this one character who I thought was really well, I guess he is kind of realistic thing, but that one guy, I forget which one he is. He was like an old guy and he was still like obsessed with his looks and he was like super racist. Um
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I feel
and
like
he was just like
there's always that one guy.
yeah, he was just like overly obnoxious to me, like a little cartoony.
Yeah.
Uh, wasn't necessarily a negative thing because I thought it was like funny and stupid, but
He was so
but
forgettable
like
that I honestly forgot about him
yeah,
until you brought him up.
right. Yeah, no, he is quite forgettable. Um,
I like a majority
yeah,
of the
I
characters,
wouldn't.
I'd say.
Yeah, I wouldn't like dock it anything for it, but
I am. Now that you said that, I'm docking it a full point.
damn,
I
damn.
now hate this movie. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was fucking fun. One thing I wanted to say, I suppose you could kind of glean that um, zombies in this movie are stronger than how they would typically be, right?
Anytime that I feel like they're not exactly zombies, and even nowadays zombies have changed so much. They're but a lot of the times, like
Yeah.
whether it's a 28 days later situation or something like this, they I feel like they typically are stronger. It's not those old Dawn of the Dead zombies where they're like very
Mm.
slow and you only really get fucked if you get overrun by a bunch of them. Like just one infected person in this movie is like a huge threat. Like you see just how much damage they can really do in a short span of time. Like oh
Right.
my god, they're so like visceral and like feral too. Like the way that they like screech and
Yeah.
like
Ugh.
attack people, like it's so animalistic. Like
Yeah.
there's
It's
always something
primal.
like yeah, it's very primal and like there's always something with like a zombie to where it like still kind of moves like a human just very slowly.
Mm.
Whereas in this movie they just move in such a like I don't know how
They
to
book
describe
it.
it. Yeah, they're so fucking fast. And it's like they're so fast and the characters are in such a confined tight space in this movie that like oh my god, it's so claustrophobic. I cannot stress that enough. It like again
I
like
love I love that too.
yeah,
The setting.
perfect.
Um I it's just great because like one thing that I love about zombie movies is that and it's so funny to think about because we barely like acknowledged it, but this is like a zombie movie.
Mhm.
Um and in pop culture now, like zombies are so like fucking everywhere. Um but I appreciate different the creative differences
Mhm.
in a lot of them. Um and like in particular the setting like Dawn of the Dead, like I loved the mall setting. I
Oh,
thought it was a
yeah.
fantastic way to do like a fantastic option for or avenue for a zombie movie to go to and it was just like great in there, and then in this movie, like the mix of just that claustrophobic kind of setting with the found footage format, I thought was just meshed together so well.
Mhm.
And this movie, like it performed to probably its best potential. It was amazing.
Yeah. I no, I agree with everything you just said, like wholeheartedly. I even that movie group that I was in, I had posted like part of the post was me saying that like I think I can't think of another found footage movie that uses the found footage aspect to its max potential.
Mm.
And like a couple people mentioned some other ones, like people brought up Blair Witch. I think
Mhm.
Blair Witch kind of sucks. I'm sorry. I know that's like a
Oh,
hot take.
damn.
I know
I'm
that's
gonna
a
have to
hot
watch
take.
that
Like people really like
and
that
disagree
movie.
with you.
People love that movie. I think that movie is so fucking boring. And
Damn.
that movie is like I'm not gonna spoil anything, but that movie is like a prime example of like I very firmly believe that like a really good ending to a movie can like make people forget about the rest of the movie not being that good. And I think that Blair Witch is a prime
Oh
example
shit.
of that because the ending is great, but like I'm so bored for so long of that movie. Whereas in Rec, I am never bored. Rec is like so good from start to finish. I love Rec. I think it's my favorite found footage movie. I think it's might be the best. I'm racking my brain. I cannot think of a movie that is as good as Rec is in the found footage genre. It just does
Damn.
everything right. The characters aren't stupid like in a lot of horror films. The plot is really simple, but it's a great setup. It's the again the setup and payoff is amazing. Jump scares are some of the best I've seen. It's just everything about it. It just works. Everything.
I super agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Sorry, I wish I like I wish I
No.
volleyed it like fucking ooped that alley.
No, dude. We've said like everything you can say about
It's
this movie. Like,
it's a really
I
good
wrote in
movie.
my I wrote in my notes. Oh, geez, the mom getting mauled is horrific. That scene is so horrifying.
It's fucking nuts, man.
Oh my
I
god! Imagine
had
just. Yeah.
I had this one where the one scene where the guy, I think like the cop, the captain or whoever,
Yeah.
was like bit on like the face and stuff, and then like
Oh.
the later on they're like trying
Yeah.
to administer like a vaccine or something, or some sort of like healing, I don't know what the fuck, medicine. Um and like he puts the syringe in like his cheek, and then like when he does it, like the guy is like like it's like it hurts, like, and I'm like, oh my god. So that was
Yeah.
hard to watch. That part, ooh, that
Mm.
part was hard to watch.
Gives you the
um
heebie-jeebies. Well, dude, that's
yeah,
something
the
we didn't
heebie-jeebies.
mention, but the special effects makeup on the bites and the
Oh
wounds
dude,
are
so fucking
really
good.
good. Like they're
So
so.
good.
And again, this is where I think the found footage comes into play. Like I think like with the found footage, that lower camera quality, the natural shakiness of the camera, I think that like kind of can mask even some bad special effects that even if they were in this movie, I don't know if I'd notice it, but all the special effects that they really harness, like what am I trying to say, hone in on,
Mhm.
they all look really good in my opinion for a $2 million movie. Like I have to assume like a decent amount of the budget probably went to making those bite scenes look great.
In $100 million movie.
That was so funny. Like yeah,
Hey
put
man,
into perspective. What this 2 million? It
maybe they
follows. I
got a lot
think
of takeout.
2 million. Has there been a horror film that's cost $100 million?
Who fucking
I'm
knows?
actually I'm kind of curious what the most expensive horror film of all time is.
Look it up.
Do you count Nope? Because I think Nope is a very expensive movie.
Sure. No, Nope is a horror movie. What's wrong with Nope? What's your problem?
Oh, can you guess number one? It's a zombie movie.
Train to Busan.
No, it's American,
Wait,
but
wait, wait. World War Z.
yeah.
Yo.
Yeah,
I,
World
I
War
actually
Z.
really like that movie.
I don't. It cost $190 million. Jesus
I fucking love
Christ.
that movie. I
Van
watch that with my family all the time.
Van Helsing is number 2. Wait, why do you watch that movie so much? What?
Because I love it.
It's such an odd movie to just throw on a lot.
It is such a 7 out of 10 movie that I love it so much. Like,
I haven't
it's
seen it in years. I just
it's
remember
so
not.
7 out of 10. Like that's the only way I can describe it.
It's they should remake
And it's
the
why
World
I
War
love it
Z
so
thing
much.
as a mini series and actually make it like the book where you see like a bunch of different perspectives of a zombie apocalypse. I think that could be really cool.
Mm.
I don't think that's been done before, but they should do it. I guess The
The
Walking
Walking
Dead
Dead.
is trying. They're trying to do it by fucking having 6 spin-offs and sending all their like how the fuck does I didn't even see the show, but how the hell does Daryl Dixon, spoilers, I'm sorry, end up in like France? Like what is that dirty rat
Oh,
looking
man.
man? Why is he all I
Norman
saw
Reedus can do whatever he wants because he's Norman Reedus.
all
and
I
he's
saw
fucking
in the
cool.
trailer for the Norman Reedus Walking Dead spinoff was like
Yeah.
they're like, how did you get here? And then it just cuts to a shot of him like floating on like a piece of wood in the water. And I'm like, what the fuck?
What?
What is this, Titanic? Like, what are you doing?
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any other thoughts on Wreck?
I thought it was really cool how they said it's not, I don't think, a too big a detail, but
Mm.
the fact that like the time before they turn into, from when they're bit to when they turn into like a zombie, that it depends on their blood type.
Oh, that's interesting, I guess.
Yeah,
That's a
it's just a
unique
cute little
that's a
detail.
unique kind of angle. I like that. I guess I didn't
Yeah,
really
to
pick
fucking
up
say,
on
I
that.
guess.
No. I didn't.
That's
I
an
didn't.
all right fact, I guess, probably.
No,
Fuck
I
you.
didn't mean it like that. No,
Fucking
I
die.
just didn't. I didn't pick up on that. There's a lot of like. Again, you do have it a little fresher in your mind than I do. But I could
What's
watch
that?
this movie, and actually, I don't know if I could watch this movie anytime because this movie is stressful as fuck. Like this movie is not like a casual
I
fun
could totally
horror
watch it
movie.
again.
I would because it's so good, but like I'm not gonna be like you guys. This is a fun horror movie. Like I love it, but I do not have fun watching this. It's
I
just
had a ton of fun watching it.
it's so stressful. Like I was so stressed while watching it. I was like, oh my god, it's so anxiety inducing start to finish. Cause like too, like one of the funniest lines in the movie is just like knowing what happens is just when the girl at the beginning before they go on the call is like, oh, I hope we go
Yeah.
out on a call tonight, and it's like, bitch, you have no idea.
You're totally going on a fucking call, dude.
You have no idea what you are in store for. How
getting
unfortunate
into
that out of all the nights that they could have followed a fireman crew, they picked that one.
a bummer,
That
man.
sucks. What time are we at? Should we wrap it up? Oh yeah, we've overstayed
much.
our welcome.
Yeah.
Um
My B guys.
no, that
Not
we
really.
both. Well, there was like there's
I'm just
so much to
kidding.
gush over
Fucking
in
kidding.
this movie. It's so good. I like it. I like it a lot. I want to get it on.
It's sick, man.
I want to get it on Blu-ray. Don't watch the American remake. It's trash and
I'm gonna watch it anyway.
I hate it. I do want to watch Rec 2 because again, when I posted about this, a lot of people were recommending me to watch the sequel, and I'm very hesitant about horror sequels. But
I think it's gonna make me throw up.
the sequel,
Yes.
why? What makes you say
I
that?
don't know.
What if it's
I'm
really?
just placing my bets, man. I
What
don't
if
know
it's
what's gonna happen.
This movie was pretty disgusting at parts.
It was pretty gross.
Again, those bite wounds are they're icky. They send shivers up my spine.
Yeah, I should.
I tried to look up some horror movie news, but there's not really any.
Not much going on right now.
Carl Weathers died, R.I.P. He was in
Oh, man.
Predator, and he's in Rocky. Yeah, he's Apollo Creed. He died. He passed away.
Holy shit.
So that's unfortunate. R.I.P. We'll talk about Predator at some point on this podcast, though it's more of an action movie. Um, I'm still really sad about Scream 7 kind of not getting made now because they lost their one star. They didn't lose her, they fired her. And then they lost
Yeah.
Jenna Ortega. And then they lost their director. So now we're gonna talk about Scream whenever we want now that we don't have a timetable. We should do it soon. I wanna watch those movies again.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
should.
Shall we get into scores?
Fuck yeah.
All right. Do you want to go first, or would you like me to take the lead on this?
I'll go
one?
first.
All right.
I'm going to give this 10 chicos out of 10.
You're giving this a 10.
Yeah.
Let's go. Aaron's second.
I honestly
his second
throughout
10.
like talking about this movie, I like was just thinking about it and I really don't have anything against it. It's like there's literally just no reason for me to
Yeah.
for like me to not like it, you know.
Yeah. Even the minor flaws, which we didn't talk about many, but I don't think it's
No.
anything to really take away. Like nothing takes me out of this movie, like at all.
Right.
I have one small critique that I put in my notes. I was looking through and I just wrote that like in the middle portion, it does slow down for like a tad too long, like just a hair, like so small. Like like I wish it had cut back to the action maybe like a minute sooner. Like that's it. That is like my
Hmm.
only downside to this movie. Um yeah, I'm gonna give Rec 2007 9.2 Cochitas out of 10.
Cochitas?
Yeah, that's the woman, the first zombie lady we see. Her name's
Oh,
Cochita.
nice.
Because I wrote the first time you see Cochita is terrifying because that shit is spooky, and then she attacks the chief inspector guy. Ugh, scary.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. So this is one of the highest rated for sure. Between the both of us.
Sweet.
Yeah. Rec 2007. Definitely check it out if you guys haven't. Let's get into next week's recommendation.
I just think it was
Um,
cool because like I really liked it, and like at the same time, I realized I could also watch this anytime.
It's a fantastic movie. Like it really
Mhm.
is. Like I don't know. I'm down on a lot of found footage movies, but this one just it does it right. Okay.
Mhm.
The movie that I had scheduled for next episode, I don't want to talk about. So we're gonna do Cloverfield instead.
Okay, cool.
Let's do. I had Paranormal Activity, and I just don't want to watch that movie like anytime
That's
soon.
fine.
So we're gonna do Cloverfield,
I'm down with it.
2009, directed by Matt Reeves, produced by J.J. Abrams. A kaiju found footage horror film. Starring Lizzie Kaplan and T.J. Miller from the Deadpool movies. So that's fun. Yeah. I'm very excited, guys. I love Cloverfield. It's
Never watched it.
was a one hell of a flick. So if you don't want to be spoiled for next week's episode, check out Cloverfield. In terms of plugs, you can find me on my personal Instagram at Booze Jacob, spelled BOOSJACOB. You can also find me on my own personal YouTube channel at Former Film Student. On there, I discuss different movie and TV related content. Have some videos cooking up, so stay tuned for that. This podcast in particular, you can find anywhere you get your podcast. We're on YouTube. We are also on Spotify and Apple Music. And if you want to go back and check out our back catalog, season 1 is only on Spotify and Apple Podcast, but seasons 1 and 2 are both on YouTube. So you can check us out on any of those platforms. Put us on whenever you get a chance. But yeah, that's really it on my end.
And for me, I have an Instagram that I deleted it on my phone, but it's still there. I'm probably gonna go back to it at some point. That is at Vixatic, Vixatic. Don't worry about what it means. I may be writing some stuff
Ooh.
that may potentially be recorded.
Hell yeah. Yeet, yeet, skirt.
So we'll see what happens with that. So
Time will tell.
yeah. Put us on while you're asleep.
Oh, that's a good one. Let our soft,
fucking-
sexy, supple
I liked it.
voices lull you to sleep every night. We're gonna do we're gonna do the Cloverfield episode all in ASMR.
What if we were to? Oh my god! What if we were to record like an 8-hour episode and we'll have it like a sleepy time episode for people?
That's what we'll do for when we're gonna do the entire Friday the 13th series all in one episode, and it's gonna be 8 hours, and it's all gonna be an ASMR. Yeah, I really liked when the chick with the big tits got her head cut off. Whew, awesome.
This movie fucking sucked.
The first one does suck.
I liked it.
Yeah, I know. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today, guys. We will catch you on the next episode of Scared Speechless. Goodbye.
Bye.